Hi Flosstube, I'm Rachel Stitchy Rach here on Flosstube and on Instagram. It is Friday the 18th of March and this is a YouTube channel about cross stitch. Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel where I waffle on about mainly cross stitch and sometimes a little bit of knitting. It's a beautiful spring day here in Kent and it's been a busy 2 weeks. Since I've started filming every 2 weeks, which definitely works better for me, rather than every week, it feels like so much happens between each recording. When I was doing it every week it flew by, and every 2 weeks there's just such a lot. I think it doesn't help that I don't know what's going on in your life, but certainly in my life things are back to much more normal, and people seem to be trying to ram like 2 years of stuff into 2 months. So it's constantly like, I don't know what I'm doing now. So it's been busy. I'll tell you a little bit about it as we go along. But yeah, I hope you're all enjoying the lovely spring sunshine. I hope you're all, having busy and happy stitching lives. Welcome if it's your first time here. Thank you for coming back if you're a returning viewer to hear me waffle on about my stitching. I have a lot to show you this week. The 2 weeks, this is what I mean, so much happens. So I have an FFO again. Who am I? I have a finish. I have 4 stitching whips and a knitting whip, and I have all the haul. All the haul. So if haul's not your thing, I will give you fair warning before the second half of this video and you can turn off. But there's a lot of haul this week. So yeah, I've been watching quite a bit of Flosstube as well. I fell off watching Flosstube at the end of last year, and it's taken me a really long time to kind of get back on the bandwagon, but I'm kind of up to date with a lot of my favourite Flosstubers. I really enjoyed catching up with some of the UK stitchers, obviously Michelle at Mum Loves You GB. I just watched Sally's latest video last night, Stitchy Sally, and I loved her haul from Market that she's got, and I'm about halfway through crafting Kirsty's most recent, and oh Kirsty, you make me laugh so much. You really do, you're so funny. You had me in stitches about 3 seconds into the current video, but yeah, loved it. So, what have I been up to? I've been very busy with the children actually. I've been things at school constantly, and birthday parties and all the things. And this morning I had an exciting tip run with my husband, because after 14 years of marriage, a tip run basically counts as a romantic date. Did take me to the pub for lunch afterwards, but you know, tip is we had to book it, I suppose. Anyway, less about my incredibly exciting married life and maybe a bit more stitching. So I will start with my FFO. So FFO, for those of you that are new to cross stitch or a bit baffled by the lingo because you never knew there was lingo to cross stitch. So I've stitched since I was about 11 years old, and it's always been a fairly solitary hobby. The only person I knew that stitched really was my mum. I certainly didn't have any stitching friends, didn't know Flosstube existed, and I found kind of initially stitching groups on Facebook, and then later Flosstube, one night when I was about 3 AM, when my youngest had been born. My youngest was probably about 2 months old, and it was in those like kind of quiet hours of the night, probably about 2:33, when you're just like, oh my god, and I was just flicking through my phone, and I don't even know how I came across it now, but in that quiet time of the night when she was just feeding and I was flicking through my phone, I stumbled on the world of online cross stitch and the community and found Flosstube that way. And why was I telling you all that? Because until that point I never knew there was so much lingo around cross stitch. I just cross stitched stuff mainly from kits and finished it, and then I fell into this world of whips and FFOs and BAPs. And so anyway, if you don't know what an FFO is, it's a fully finished object. So when you take a piece of your stitching and send it to someone or make it into something yourself that you can then display. There's not a lot of making stuff into stuff yourself on this channel. FFOing is not my jam, and I'm starting to realise there's a big group of us out there that FFOing is not our favourite bit. So you're very welcome here. The FFO I'm about to show you, I did not finish myself, I took it to my framer. So, you know, I paid someone else to do the difficult bit for me. So without further ado, on this channel, they're also called Finally Effing Over, because sometimes it takes me a long time to get round to it. So here we go, and this is it. I am super happy with this. So I don't know if I ever showed this on my channel. I started my channel about a year ago. I'd have to go back and watch my first couple of videos. And I can't remember if I just finished stitching this when I started my channel and therefore never showed it to you. But this it was a sal, it was a mystery sal from Stitching Book Club. So who I have spoken about before on my channel. So Stitching Book Club by Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts, and you can find them on Etsy and I'll link them below. This was a mystery sal, and it was the only sal I have ever kept up to date with. I kept up to date with it. I had finished every part before the next part was released, and I finished it pretty quickly once the final part was released. It's Sense and Sensibility. I stitched it in all the called for DMC, and it's stitched on a piece, it's kind of a bluey purple fabric, very pretty fabric. And it was hand dyed by the Crafty Kitten, who appear no longer to be trading, and it was their February 2019 limited edition, and it's a piece of 28 count cashel linen. So that's what it's stitched on. And so you're getting a bit of glare from the window there because there's a window opposite me. But I am so happy with this. I love how it's turned out. I love how much the fabric you can see. I love the frame. My framer hated this. He absolutely hated it. He's had it for quite a long time, and he was very apologetic about how long he'd had it for. And there were various reasons. It's all been a bit of a saga, but I know when I took it in, the person he uses for stretching cross stitch had just broken her leg or her arm, or quite badly, and so she had to have a few weeks off, and he'd never really framed anything in an oval frame before. He'd used oval mounts inside a square or rectangular frame, but he'd never really framed anything in an oval before. But he's good, and he was like, I'll give it a go. And then I said I wanted a white oval frame, and so he'd had to go and find an oval frame and paint it and rub it down and all the things. And I think basically it had just got shoved in a drawer and he'd actually forgotten about it. And then I rang him, probably when he'd had it a few months, and said, I'm really sorry if I've missed your call, Max, but is that piece waiting for me and you're just wondering where I am? And he was like, oh, it's in a drawer, I put it in a drawer. And he was super apologetic. So he got it out of the drawer and they got onto stretching it and everything. And then for him to find someone to cut his glass for him, no one wanted to cut an oval piece of glass. And in the end he took it to, funnily enough, the glass company that have done some of the windows in my house. We live in a listed building. For those of you not in this country, a listed building is kind of a protected building in the UK, and it means that everything you do to it you have to do with permission, and you have to do certain things in a very specific way and use old-fashioned materials and things. So when I need a window reglazing, I can't just nip to the nearest glazer. I have to use a specialist glazier who can do it properly. Anyway, in the end, they were the people who cut my oval glass for my oval frame. Anyway, I am absolutely in love with this. Haven't fully decided where it's going to go yet. I think I know. I think it's going to go in my bedroom. But I'm so pleased with it. So there we go. That's the first thing. And that's my FFO. I hope you love it as well. I absolutely love it. I wanted to show it on here before I put it on Instagram, but I will take a picture of it and put it on Instagram as well, because I just think it's absolutely fabulous. I'm so pleased with it. So Max, I'm sure you don't watch me waffle on about cross stitch, but for all your pain and for all the trouble this has given you, I am so pleased with it. And he did say to me when I went to pick it up at the beginning of this week, he was like, I really hope it hasn't put you off using me, how long this has taken. And I said, well, Max, it hasn't put me off that much because I've brought something to swap with you, and I've taken him another one of my finishes. So hopefully I'll have another FFO to see next time I film. So that's my FFO. So really chuffed with that. And then I also have a finish. What have I finished, I hear you ask? Because I wasn't massively close to a finish on anything last time I filmed, and it's not something you've ever seen before. It is this little dude. How cute is he? How cute is he? This is Quirky Quaker, I think it's number 6, Fox by Darling and Whimsy Designs, and I absolutely love him. I was hoping he'd be an FFO this week as well, and I'd have 2 FFOs, and you'd all be like, oh, Rachel can't run the FFO clubbing if she has 2 FFOs. But the frame I've got to finish this in hasn't arrived yet, so he's just a finish. And I think I mentioned this last time I filmed, but my eldest well, maybe I didn't. My eldest has been in a play at school this week. It's one of the things I was at school for. And she was a fox in the play, which it was a better part than it sounds. She was basically there were 5 foxes and they were the narrators of the school play. And it was so good. Oh, they were just amazing. All the kids were amazing. They'd been so well prepared and they just did a really fantastic job. And I think after the last 2 years, to go into school and to sit in an audience with people and just watch them, and they were amazing. Oh, I was so proud. I had a real proud mummy moment, and then I nearly started crying, and then I was like, partly because I was so proud and partly because I was just like, it felt like finally we were getting back to normal and we could do normal things, and I nearly started crying, and then I was like, oh, for God's sake, woman, get a grip. Remember yourself. So then I didn't. And then I had my 2 youngest with me, so then I had to start doing some crowd control. And the moment passed quickly. But anyway, there he is in all his glory. And hopefully, again, next time I film, I'll have him FFO'd. Now, I was really hoping to have him FFO'd for Wednesday after her play, because I wanted to give him to her finished, but it didn't happen, so I gave him to her as a little memento of her being a fox in the school play. So there you go, I'm being a bit sentimental. So this is by Darling and Whimsy Design, and I stitched it on 32 count Belfast opal. I think you can see all the sparkles. In the colourway, I can never say this, I think I'm saying it right, Khione, Khione, by Chromatic Alchemy. And I think the called for on this is gassed burnt orange. Is it gassed burnt orange? Hold on, I've got that fox chart down here. No, I'm not going to show you the fox chart, I just know it's on there. Yeah, gassed burnt orange was the called for, which is what's called for in The Fox that has taken the world by storm. I don't think you can get gassed for love nor money in this country. The gassed burnt orange for love nor money in this country at the moment because of that fox. Anyway, so I pulled from Stash and I stitched him in Classic Colourworks Fallen Leaves, which I actually love. And it kind of moves from a kind of chestnut brown to an orange. And I'm actually really pleased with the colour of him. I think he is fab. I think burnt orange might have been a bit orange for my taste on this particular piece. But my daughter loved him, I love him, and it's just a really great little sentimental thing for her. So that's my finish. Right, moving on. I have 4 whips to show you. So I'm wondering what to show you first. I'll just go from the top of the pile. So, since I last saw you, obviously I stitched that fox, and then I've been working on my whip go goals, and one was the Peanuts Afghan, which I showed you last time and I'll show you again in a minute, and the other one was the B block on my big alphabet sampler. So I think last time I saw you I just finished the G block and that I'd finished a row, and now I've moved on to the B block, and that's how far I've got. That is, when did I start working on that? Only 2 nights ago. 2 nights ago? No, 3 nights ago. That's 3 nights worth of stitching. Because they are quite big blocks. The squares are 80 stitches by 80 stitches. So, you know, it's, let's do some maths. 320 stitches just to go that one, like, block outline. So that is where I am. So I feel really, at the moment, I feel really good that I'm going to get this finished, this block finished by the end of March, and this piece finished this year. There were 12 blocks left on this at the beginning of the year, so 1 block a month, and it'll be done by the new year. And so far, I've kept up with that. I've already done 2 blocks so far this year. This will I think this will definitely be finished in March, as long as I don't get distracted. So that's my whip go goal crossed off, and I'm still on track with it for the year, to finish it at year end. B is for boat, is what it's going to say. So that's where I am. And I am debating having a monogamous April on this piece, because if I can get it finished before December, I'd like to. So my thought is, I'm going to do Stitch Mania. So May is going to be, in terms of my year-long goals, a bit of a disaster. It's not going to be a disaster for me. I'm going to really enjoy myself. And I feel I've got 2 such massive goals this year that I really want to achieve, that I need to give myself May as kind of respite from those goals. So I'm thinking if I do a monogamous April on this, I could get 2 or 3 blocks done, and that would kind of get me further ahead. But we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, that's where it is at the moment. This is, I should have probably told you some more details than just waving it at you. I don't think I've brought the bag with the cover sheet. No, I haven't. I'm not going to go down and get it. This is Bouncing Babies ABC by Lucy Heaton. It's a PDF that's available on her website, which I will link below. I have shown the full thing before, so just go back to my last video if you want to see, or just click on the link below and look at Lucy Heaton's website. It's stitched in all the called for DMC, and it's stitched 2/2 on 36 count white linen by Zweigart. I have this top line to do, which is ABC and 2 end blocks, and I have the bottom line to do XYZ and the 2 end blocks. So I'm feeling really good about this goal now, and that it is actually achievable. Mainly because I haven't been distracted in the first 3 months of the year. That often happens to me. I go into a year with my plans and then get hugely sidetracked because I see what everyone else is doing, and I'm like, I want to stitch that, I want to stitch that, I want to stitch that. But I've been really good. I've been really good and really focused. So my second big goal for the year is my Peanuts Afghan, which I did show last time, and I said in my last video I would try and put up where it was last time. So I will attempt to put here where this was last time you saw it. If not, if my technical ability doesn't actually stretch that far, I will I'm going to describe it to you as well, and we'll see where my technical ability gets me later on today. But yes, I'll try and insert a picture of where it was last time. And here is where it is now. So last time I was stitching Linus, and you may remember that I had run out of flesh coloured thread. So I was waiting for an order, so he was kind of headless. And here he is, in all his I am not your sweet baboo glory. If you are not a massive Peanuts fan, Linus is Lucy's little brother. And Charlie Brown's little sister, Sally, this kid, has a massive crush on Linus. And calls him her sweet baboo. And Linus goes, I am not your sweet baboo! Anyway, that's Linus. So I'm really pleased with him. As you can see, the back stitch, as usual, made all the difference on this. What I've been thinking I'm going to do with this is try and take a photo of it and then take a photo of all the different blocks and put them on my Instagram as kind of a highlight reel, because it's really difficult. It's so big, it's really difficult to show it all in one go. Yeah, it also needs a really good wash because it's so big, it's impossible to keep clean, particularly when you have 2 cats and a dog. But it's fine, just stick it in the washing machine. Don't tell anyone. Put it in the washing machine. It'll be fine. So yes, having got Linus finished, I am also on track with this blanket. In fact, I now have 6 blocks left on this. Now 2 of them are these big corner blocks that are basically full coverage, and so they do take a bit longer, but yeah, this is going to be done. It's going to be done well before December. So the details of this is Peanuts Afghan. It's stitched on Zweigart and Afghan fabric, and if you can see, it comes kind of pre-made into these squares. So each of those squares is either 90 by 90 if you stitch over 1, or 45 by 45 if you stitch over 2. These guys are all stitched over 2, so you're basically stitching on 9 count. So over 1 it's 18 count, and over 2 it's 9 count. So they're very big. If I can get them really close, you can see how big the X's are, and I use 4 strands of thread for the X's and 2 strands for the back stitching. That's the coverage I like. Now, someone last week asked how I protect the stitches in the back. Do I just keep my backs really neat, or how are they going to be protected? So I did say I would show my back. I'm not ashamed of showing my backs. I am and was taught to cross stitch so that my backs were extremely neat, and I like a neat back. I am casting no judgment or aspersion. If you are not a neat back person, no one looks at the back. I am just a neat back person. So this is the back of Linus. So I do like to keep my backs neat. That being said, when I finish it, I will put some backing fabric on it. And then the plan is, now I am not a good seamstress. The plan is to get some batting. Is batting the right word? Using quilts? See, I told you I'm not a seamstress. Batting, I think, is the right word. And then some backing fabric, and stitch the backing fabric round the batting with a hem, if that makes sense. Does this make sense? And then stitch that onto the back of this, because there will be a fringe around it as well. And then obviously you don't want it so I'm sorry if this is complete waffle, so that the front piece will pull away from the batting and the backing fabric, so it kind of comes apart. So what I will do is, obviously I'll stitch it around where I want it, and then I will go down the grid lines in the Afghan fabric and almost quilt it, if that makes sense. I am not a quilter, so I hope in layman's terms that all made sense to you. What I do like about these lines in the Afghan is that for my sewing machine, if I line up the prongs of the foot against the lines, it keeps me straight. They're about exactly as wide as my sewing machine foot. So, winner, because I can't sew straight at all. I'm not good at it. The patterns are coming out of a range of out of print leaflets that I bought on eBay. They're all by Leisure Arts. They're all out of print. They were all printed in the late 90s. And this one's called Peanuts Cross Stitch Magnets. But they do come up. So if you're interested in stitching Snoopy and Peanuts, I would recommend a safe search on eBay. That's how I found my charts. And they're all stitched in DMC. But again, it's a really big project. As you can see, I'm not going to show it properly because there's just tons of it, but you can see how big it is. I will try and show it properly when it's finished, or insert a video of it at some point. But yeah, I'm just really excited to be getting close to the end of it. feel like I am achieving the goals I set out to achieve at the beginning of 2022, which is exciting. Okay, so that's that. The next whip I have to show you is my out and about stitching. In fact, as I was walking around collecting all my bits and bobs for this video, because I actually made show notes yesterday because I was like, I have a lot of stuff. This is going to be quite long, and I thought I'm just going to forget stuff. I don't usually make show notes, but I did yesterday. I sat down and was organised. So I was going through today what I needed to show you. I realised that I'd left this in the car. So that's how much of my out and about stitching it is. It wasn't even in the house. So I had to go out to the drive and get this. And what am I talking about? I am talking about Enjoy the Ride by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. This is still available on their website as a PDF download or as a kit, and I will link that below. I started it in 2018 as a mystery sal and promptly fell off the wagon. But if you've been here before, you know I picked it back up again at the start of the year, and I am making good progress. Perhaps a little less than I had been over the last 2 weeks because that fox I was stitching out and about as well. However, here is where, oh, and I will try and put a picture of where you saw it last time. And here is where it is now. So I think last time you saw it, I'd just done that bumper car, and I have managed to come across and start on that helter skelter. So I have hopes that I'll finish it for the end of March. If I look at what's left, there's the rest of the helter skelter, which is a little bit chunky, but not impossible. And then I think 2 stars? Yeah, this blue star and this purple star, and the rest of the border. So there's a chance. We'll say I haven't, as well as stitching the fox in the last 2 weeks, for various reasons I haven't had as much out and about stitching as usual. Things have been cancelled or not happening, or I've had to do other things in that time. There's no Saturday swimming stitching tomorrow for those of you that like my Saturday swimming stitching posts. Someone else needs to use the pool, so it's off tomorrow. So there we are. This is with all the called for DNC on 28 count blue even weave. I'm afraid I don't know any more fabric details than blue even weave. It's got this orange ticker down the side, so I guess it's what I got. But other than that, I don't know. So that's Enjoy the Ride. And that is, apart from one thing, that is my oldest whip. So it would be nice to get that finished. Right. And then the final stitching whip I have to show you is also a new start, which is in my Penelope's Pocket bag. I love this bag. Look at that giraffe. I think she's sold all these now. They're so cool. I love it. I love Sarah's bags. I will link Penelope's Pocket below. Go and have a look at her bags. I know she's got some of the Teresa Kogut fabric and is going to be making some bags out of that. But you're not allowed to buy one before I have them. Yeah. So what's in this bag? This is my Mushroom Meadow by Stitchy Princess Black on Etsy, and this is for the hashtag Stitch for Ukraine Sal. So Stitch Princess Black is a Ukrainian designer, and so since the start of this awful situation in Ukraine, I've bought a couple of things from Ukrainian designers just as a kind of way of direct aid, and I would encourage you to also give aid through other means if you are able. So that's the design, and this is where I am. I haven't made a huge start on this, it must be said. I am here. Look at how well that's showing up. So the light green shows up much better in person than it's showing up on that. I seem to get a funny pattern on my fabrics today as well. I hope that's not showing up actually on the camera. It's kind of sending my eyes a little bit crazy. So I hope that's not actually how it looks when I come to edit this. Ooh. Anyway, oh, there you go, it's not doing it there. So that's where I am. I promise you that light green shows up much, much better in person than it's picking up on the camera. I actually didn't use the called for on this. So the called for is DMC. And I was always going to convert it. And when I went to pull the colours, they just weren't the colours I was expecting from that picture. The tops of the mushrooms were much more orange and the greens were much more brown than I expected. So I did my own colour conversion. It's on floss ring, it's matching floss ring to the bag, also from, no, don't focus on me, focus on the floss ring. Is it going to do it? No, it's the guy in the turban anyway, it's very cool. So I pulled my own conversion of colours for this. They're all either, I think, Classic Colour Works or Gentle Arts, things that I had in my stash. And I am much happier with that colour palette, even though it's not showing up very well on camera, on the fabric. The fabric is, what is the fabric? The fabric is 32 count Belfast in Mossy Ruins by Crafty Kitten. But again, she doesn't appear to be trading anymore. But I have a lot of her fabric because I used to be in her Fabric of the Month club. The fabric's shown pretty true. It's kind of a greeny brown. It's quite nice, kind of like a sagey green with some brown mottling in it. So I'm really happy with the fabric. And I'm really happy with the threads now I've done a conversion. So that is that. I'd say not a massive start on that one, mainly because I really wanted to get back to, you know, my goals. But if I finish that Beers for Boats before the end of the month, I think I'll pull this out. And also because it's 32 count, it might be a future travel project as well. We'll see. So that's that one. And then I did do a quick straw poll in my last video as to whether people are happy to have the knitting thrown in, particularly given that there's not a lot of knitting, and people said, yeah, that's how it is in my house, chuck it all together. So this is my knitting whip. This is, oh, where's the right piece of paper? I've managed to not bring the right piece of paper again. I did this last time. It's called Grady Fady. And I can't remember who it's by. Becca Anderson Designs. There you go. It's by Becca Anderson Designs and it is Grady Fady. And if I cover up the pattern there, that's what it'll look like, just I'm using a different colour. So my fade goes from white to green. And I think last time you saw it, I basically knitted about 4 rows. You'll have to excuse it because it's got 2 balls of wool coming off it at the moment because I'm carrying my thread rather than cutting every time. But here is where it is. Can you see? And it's with a set of wool called, again, I haven't obviously brought what I need to bring with me, called Chopper wool or something like that. I'll put it in the description box. And it's like 6 or 7 balls of wool and they fade. So you have the white at the beginning. Don't focus on me, focus on the... Got the white, and then it goes to a white with occasional specks of green. That is looking a lot greener on camera than it does in real life. And then the next one's slightly more green, slightly less white, until you get to a solid green at the other end, and you keep adding them in. So as you can see, I haven't got much white left. In fact, I think I have one more round of white. So she did say at the beginning of the pattern that she had kind of charted it to use all the wool, and I'm a bad knitter. I didn't do a tension gauge, a gauge swatch because it's a cowl. I couldn't be bothered. But I will pretty much use the right amount of wool, so my tension can't be that far off. So I'm pretty impressed with that. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm really enjoying just doing a few round and rounds. I'm getting really into the knitting, having been really scared of knitting for a very, very long time. I'm actually getting really into it now, and I'm starting to feel more confident about choosing wool and patterns. So, and every week I mean to show you this, and every week I forget. This is also a Penelope's pocket bag. She also does these little kind of zip up pouches, which I think are perfect for little knitting projects. She did say to me when I bought it that she doesn't sell as many of these, but they are just as good quality as her vinyl fronted project bag. So if you want a notions pouch or a small knitting bag or anything like that, I would heartily recommend them. And they're also on Sarah's website, Penelope's Pocket. So that's my knitting list. Right, next I have some Happy Mail or Stitchy Kindness, whichever you would like to call it. So it goes with one piece of haul, but I will show it to you first. So I bought a new project bag from Sarah at Penelope's Pocket. Maybe I should just call this episode the Penelope Pocket episode. And so it came and it was beautifully wrapped as usual. And when I opened it, there was a chart inside the bag. And a few weeks ago, Sarah was stitching something on her personal Instagram, not her Penelope's Pocket Instagram, which was a la-di-da chart, and it was lovely. And she picked this really beautiful blue thread for it. And I just said, oh, that's lovely. And I've never ever seen that chart before. And when I opened the bag, the chart was inside it. So thank you, Sarah. It's just, that was really thoughtful and really kind. And you absolutely didn't have to, but I am absolutely very glad you did. So here it is. It's called Quaker Alphabet by La-di-da. It is an old one. The copyright on it is 2007. So I don't know if it's still available, but I had certainly never seen it before. But I just love it. I think it's beautiful. And I've decided it's going to be one of my mania starts. And I've just got to find the perfect thread for it now. So I don't know what it's charted in. Let's have a look. I'm not going to do what it's charted in. Sarah did it in blue and it just looked really, really beautiful. It's charted in, Belle Soie, Creme de Menthe. So yeah, so thank you very much, Sarah. It was super, super kind of you. And it will stay until it is a finish in the project bag that it came in from you. You can keep it all together. Right. So that is all my stitching and Stitchy Kindness, and now I'm on the haul, and there is a lot of haul. So if haul videos are not your thing, and I appreciate they're not everyone's thing, you may want to turn off now, and I will say goodbye with absolutely no hard feelings. So goodbye, and thank you for watching this far if haul is not your thing. But if you're all about the haul, like I am, I love watching people's haul. It's like vicarious shopping. Then there's quite a bit to come. So, might be a good time to have a rest break and get yourself another drink if you want to, and then I will make a start. So, first things first, the bag that lovely chart came with from Sarah at Penelope's Pocket. I know she's sold out of these now. I think I got the last one. I was a bit sleepy. I wanted one and I saw she'd released them, and then I didn't get round to buying one until the next day, and she was like, oh, you just got the last one. I was like, hurrah, but how good is that? And I love the pigs. Oh, I'm all about the pigs. And I don't know, because she's so thoughtful. When she showed a sneak peek of this fabric, I said, oh, I love pigs. Just love pigs. And I bought a thread drop thing to go with it. And I don't know if they all had pigs on. But focus on it. Focus. I don't know if it's going to focus. Don't focus on me, focus on the thing. No, it's not going to, but mine has a pig on it. So I don't know if they all had pigs on. I doubt it, because there's like little hens and stuff. So thank you, Sarah, for remembering I liked pigs and sending me a pig. So pigs in there. It's got a fab tassel handle. And your lovely chart is going in there, and it will stay in there until it's finished, and I'll be starting that in May for Stitch Mania. So that's that. Then my thread club from Lakeside Needlecraft came. So I am a member of the Classic Colourworks thread club from Lakeside Needlecraft, and every month you get 10 Classic Colourworks threads and they come in alphabetical order. So I'm in the B's at the moment, and this month I got Blue Moon, Blueberry Tart, Blue Corn. I think between the B's there's a lot of blues. Brown Sugar. That's a nice brown. It's a really chestnutty brown. I like that. Bunny Honey. Brown Hen. Now, I don't know about you. I have a brown hen at home. Let me see if I can find something white to show this to you. Let's get a piece of white paper out. I keep hens. I have brown hens. I ain't ever seen a brown hen that colour. It's a nice colour. It's just got nothing to do with a brown hen. But, you know, whatever. My brown hen is more that colour. I don't know. Gotta call it something, I suppose. Brandied pears. Nice. Bramble bush. Boysenberry jam. Can someone who's American tell me what a boysenberry is? I suppose I could Google it. Is a boysenberry a thing? And Blushing Beauty. So, as you can see, mainly browns and blues in the B's. But I like getting that club, and the reason I'm in it is that it just increases my stash of overdyed flosses, threads, because I don't live anywhere near a real needle workshop, and not that there are loads in this country anyway, but I certainly don't live anywhere near one. That if I want to do a conversion, it's really hard to tell from pictures on a website what is going to be the right colour. So I feel I need a reasonable stash of overdyed threads so I can make the right choice, if that makes sense. And then I bought some threads from Patchwork Rabbit. So partly this was, I got some DMCs that I was running out of on both the Alphabet Sampler and Snoopy, and I did get a lot of white as well, obviously because Snoopy. I think I got 10 skeins of white. Obviously because Snoopy, but also, you know, you always find a use for white, and that's some of the extra flesh colour I bought. And then I've spoken about, sorry for the rattle, I've spoken previously on this channel about how every time I can't find a Gentle Arts thread club like the Classic Colourworks thread club. So every time I do an order, I just add 5 skeins of Gentle Art so that I'm starting to build up my Gentle Art collection. So in this order I added Brick Path, which is kind of a, put that piece of paper away now, greeny brown. It's a bit dark today, the light's not, is it better on that side? Yeah. Bubblegum, wow, that is bright, look at that. That is a bright pink, I have no idea what I'd ever do with that. Brown Bear, really like that brown, and it's lovely and variegated. I see a tree trunk in that guy's future. Nice, like that. Buttermilk, which is really just lovely pale cream yellow. It's showing more yellow than it is, it's much creamier yellow than that. And then Butter Crunch, which is very yellow. So they were my 5 Gentle Arts that I got from the Patchwork Rabbit. So I'm just going to put them all back in this rattly thing, otherwise this is just going to be chaos at the end. How am I doing on time? It's going to be long today, sorry everybody, this is long. Right. Yeah, I need to speed up a bit. And then there was this great de-stash on one of the stash unload groups on Facebook, and this woman was just selling loads of stash and it was all awesome. So I got quite a bit. So what have we got? It's Rosewood Manor. It's called Birds of a Feather. I've never seen that before. Love it. I won't make it into a bell pull. I think I'd just frame it. But I really liked that. I thought it was super pretty. Never ever seen that before. I got this Lila's Studio. This is massive. It's called With the Needle Too by Lila's Studio. And it is huge. It is, what does it say? 426 by 186. Oh, that's massive. But it is absolutely stunning. Love it. Got that. She's getting rid of all this stuff. Then I got the Weeping Tree Sampler by the City Stitcher. Love that. Love that. I've got a few bits by the City Stitcher. I don't know a lot about them. I assume they're out of print. This is copyright 1994. You wouldn't think so, would you? It doesn't look 1994 copyright. You could imagine that being released now. Love it. I quite like these. This is in ink circles. It's called Miracle Grow. And it's part of the Bad Neighbourhood series. And there are all these pictures of houses with something that look quite bucolic, and then you have a closer look and there's something awful in them. So you've got all these like huge hens and huge carrots, and you can see some kind of factory or power station in the background. So I like those. So I got that. I got the Choose Your Own Motto sampler by Heartstring Samplery. And what she has in there is, all I'm saying is, you never see me crying and eating tacos at the same time. But I think I know what I'm going to put in there for me. Got that one. And then Lizzie Kate Promise Me, which I'm sure everyone's familiar with. But I've been looking for that one for a while because I'm too stingy to pay the postage from 123 Stitch in the States. And it says, promise me you'll always remember, you're braver than you believe and stronger than you seem and smarter than you think. I love that. So that was my D-stash haul. And then got my Market haul. Oh, I'm so excited. I loved Market. I loved my haul from Market. And I just, yeah. I was not restrained. I could have been even less restrained than I was, but I was not restrained. I'm sorry. For all you people that are restrained, I really admire you, and you're like, yeah, I've been really good. I only ordered 3 things, and I'm like, oh my god, I ordered all the things, and I could have ordered more. Except I can't, because I can't pay for more. But anyway, thank you, Sue, at Peakside Needleworks, who goes to Market and brings all this stuff back for people like me who just cannot control their stitching habit. Thank you, Sue. I'm sure you had to work so hard. I think you're the only UK shop that physically goes to Market. If someone knows someone else that goes, but I think Sue's the only one that goes. So hats off, Sue. Well done for your service to UK stitchers in going to Market. And I've loved watching everyone's Market Flosstube. Oh, awesome. Just awesome. I'm sure all the shops work so hard. I can't even get it out of the packet. Anyway, so what did I order from Market? What did I order from Market? Too much stuff. I don't know when I'm going to stitch it all. That's not the point, is it? So what did I get? Where shall we start? Right, I'll start here. So the first thing I got is What Remains by Blackbird Designs. I know a lot of people got this last year when it was an exclusive for traditional stitchers. And I thought about it a few times and I was like, the postage, And I didn't know it was going to be released later, but I didn't. But then when I saw it was going to be released at Market, I was like, yeah, done. So I'm sure lots of you had it already, but What Remains by Blackbird. So I got that one. And I now want the, is it A Heart Remembers? The book by Blackbird. So I was a bit on that because I'm not personally into heart-shaped pillows massively. I think they're a little bit twee and a little bit 80s. Just a personal opinion. Please don't come at me. And so I was like, oh, do I want a book that's just got loads and loads of little like pillow heart things in? But then Stitchy Sally did a flip through on her Flosstube a couple of days ago, and actually there's quite a few nice samplers in there as well that aren't like the heart things. So I'm now like, oh yeah, I do need that actually. So then that was that. Then I got Love Lives Here by Teresa Koga, which is a book. Now, I wasn't sold on this initially because it's got this big American flag here, and I was like, what am I going to do with that? But actually, there are a lot more projects in this book than the front cover suggests. I think there are 9. Yeah, there are 9 patterns in here. So there's obviously that one with the big flag on the front, but there's also this one here with all the animals, which I love. This little one, it's like a little basket full of flowers. Then there's, oh, this is my favourite page, these 3. So it's the big bird that's on the front. I quite like that. That's what sold it to me. Then there's a little cute house in the vase. And then there's another house with the flowers. I like that as well, with the bird. And then, sorry, I'm just finding the other pictures. There is, and there's these 3. So there are actually quite a lot of patterns in there, so do not let the massive American flag on the front put you off. And you could always put something else, so you could put a bird in there, or you could put some more flowers in there or something, but yeah, don't let the big American flag on the front of this book put you off. There's loads of great stuff in there. And now another Teresa Koga book, which is Gather, and again there's 3 charts in here. I think it's just the 3 on the front. So there's this ABC. That's cute. Like that. Then there's the main Gather sampler, which, that's awesome. Look at that cow. I'm all over that. All over that. And then this one. I really love this one. That one. And it's called Sally Emerson. And I really like it. And it was funny because I was flicking through and it says a note. This is on the last page of the book. It's a bigger kind of blow up of the house of Sally Emerson. And it says note. This is from Teresa Koga. The finished piece in the photo is different than what's charted due to my errors in stitching. Sally Emerson is only my 5th cross-stitch project. And I was like, what? Did she stitch it like ages ago? And then she says, although I've been designing cross-stitch charts since 2012, I'm only a year into my stitching journey. And I was like, oh my god, this one designs amazing cross-stitch and has only just started stitching. And I never knew that about Teresa Koga. Maybe you all did. But anyway, thoroughly recommend this book as well. I'm also definitely going to have a Teresa Koga start in Stitch Mania, because I have loads of her stuff and I've never stitched one. So Teresa Koga start coming this way. Then I got this one, which is By the Bay Needle Art, A Homestead Welcome. There you go. It's hard to show this one because it's an actual photo on the thing. I like that. Liked that a lot. Yeah. And then I got the sampler book by Erica Michaels. Now I know some of you may have this because it's a reprint. What I will say is you don't get the charts in here. The charts for the sampler book are freebies on the Rainbow Gallery website. If I can find the link, I will link them below. I have them. I've saved them. This is it kind of tells you how to assemble it. It gives you the material list, where to use them. There's some useful notes on if you want to actually make it into the book. But if you just want to stitch the patterns, you can do that from the Rainbow Gallery freebies. So I will link that below. Right, so that was half the haul, half the market haul. And then the second half of my market haul is in this one. Oh. told you I wasn't restrained. Not restrained. No self-restraint. Okay, so the next one is another Erica Michaels. I want a bit Erica Michaels potty at this market, actually. I don't have a lot of her stuff. And it was this one. Chrissy Barron. I just really liked it. I just really liked the colours and big berry bowl in the middle. And yeah, just liked it. The birds and yeah. And then I got her another Erica Michaels English sample of berries. I just really like the Tudor rose one in the middle. I'm all over a good Tudor rose. So yeah, so that one. And then I haven't come across them before, but Little Robin Designs. This is the Charming Cow sampler. Loved that. All over that cow. He is charming. She is charming. Cows are girls, aren't they? She is charming. So yeah, excited about that one. Next one is Annie B's Folk Art, and it's the 1884 home sampler. I think that's got a very Teresa Cougar feel, actually. It really appealed to me. I like that a lot. But yeah, I think very, very similar style. If you said that was Teresa Cougar, I would go, yeah, it is. But it's not, it's Annie B's Folk Art. So I got that one. And then, obviously, I had to satisfy my Kathy Barrick / Liz Matthews obsession. So what did I get? So probably a surprise to no one, the Moons of 2022, because I think everyone loved that, didn't they? Did anyone not have this in their shopping basket for market? It's just stunning. The minute she showed a sneak peek of it, I was just like, yeah, done. Done. Actually, I think it has a very Hello from Liz Matthews feel to it as well. I think, yeah, seeing a bit of mother-daughter influence there. Love it. And then I got, also from Kathy Barrick, the first one in the Collective Noun series that she's doing with Liz Matthews. I think they released 3 at this market. I think the one I'm about to show you, there was number 2 is a peacock one, also by Kathy Barrick, and number 3 was an elephant one by Liz Matthews. I got the first one, a Parliament of Owls. How cool is that? Particularly if you're British. There definitely are houses of Parliament, aren't they? They're not anyone else's. Love it. All over that. And then the final 2 are from Liz Matthews. Hello from Liz Matthews. I got Quaker Gardens. Love that. And you get both the big chart and the little chart. So yeah, yes please. Yes please. And then I got the Pink Cottage School. There. Also love that. But frankly, I could have bought all the Kathy Barrick and all the Liz Matthews stuff, because I always can. So I was actually quite restrained in that sense. But I'd already cut my list down quite dramatically. There were quite a few things that I also wanted but didn't get. But that is what I did. So that was all the haul. So I'm sorry there was a lot of haul there. But I love it all. I have no idea when I'm going to stitch it. Do you get to live to be like 1,000 if you just buy lots of cross stitch? At least someone will enjoy it when I'm gone, eh? So yeah, so there was a lot of haul. So very quickly plans. What are my plans between now and next time I see you? So next time I see you, it'll be the 1st of April. Where is this year going? The 1st of April, oh my word. So between now and then, I want to finish that B block on my alphabet sampler. I'm really hoping to finish Enjoy the Ride. If I am here in 2 weeks having finished Enjoy the Ride, I'd be like, oh yeah, oh yeah. I will do a little party if I've finished that. It is a stretch target, but it would feel so good if that was done. And then if I do finish that B block, I might get Mushroom Meadow from Stitchy Princess Black back out and crack on with that for a little while. And then next time I'll tell you what my April plans are going to be, because I told you a little bit earlier, but I think I've got my April plans pretty much sorted, because I'm thinking about the run up to May and what I want to get done before I start Stitch Mania, because then you're into all that, like, oh, don't know whether I'm coming or going stitching. So I think that's all for today. Thank you for sticking with it. I hope your bum hasn't gone numb. If that was your first time here, I hope you very much enjoyed it, and I hope you will subscribe and come back. Thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you to those of you who leave comments. I love doing this. I love chatting to you every couple of weeks. I love the people I am meeting through doing this. It's a lot of fun. So please like, please subscribe, please leave a comment if you have time. Please come back next time. And until the beginning of April, have a good week, Stitchers. Bye.